on top of that, it's generally not how they think.
Right.
You know? I mean, look at Floyd. Like, Floyd spends money like it's a tap. Like, he's got a tap. Just like unlimited amount of money. Money's just flowing. And even as much money as he's made in his career, which he's probably made as much, if not more money than any boxer ever, like, there's all these lawsuits. Like, he hasn't been paying things, and he owes money on this and owes money on that. And it's like, and then he's got to come out of retirement.
Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah.
That's tough. All the money, you got to show that he got $1 million in his backpack. And, you know, he got the latest watch and the latest car, and look what I just bought.
And when you get into latest watches and latest cars, you get into that shit. Like, boy, that money goes quick.
Yeah.
Bugattis are like $3 million. There's watches that are $3-5 million. That's crazy. So you buy a watch and a car, you're down 10. That's nuts. That's nuts.
Crazy.
I remember Iran Barkley was talking about that. Iran Barkley, when he was in his prime, was hanging out with all these professional athletes, and everybody was getting diamond-crusted chains and this and that, and he was keeping up with these people. Like, you got to keep up with the Joneses. And he just found himself, like, draining all of his money. He was talking about it like that was the biggest detriment to him being able to save any money.
Joe Rogan explains that Floyd Mayweather earned massive wealth, but spent recklessly flaunting luxury cars, watches, and collections, ignoring taxes, assuming money would never end, and ultimately losing nearly $1 billion.
I think it's just the lifestyle that Floyd lived.
Yes.
I think he can't fathom to just live a modest lifestyle. It's like he gotta be lavish.
Right. He's got to have those videos where he shows you all the watches, where he opens the case up, you know. He was talking about it like that was the biggest detriment to him being able to save any money.
They trying to keep up.
Yeah. Which I thought was funny when I was listening to this conversation with Chad Ochocinco. He was talking about it. He was like,
his jewelry fake.
Yeah, he was wearing fake jewelry.
But who would know?
What's that?
Who would know? He Chad Ochocinco.
Exactly.
It's
fake
like when
jewelry,
they look at him like
flying economy. He was sleeping at the stadium, like, so he didn't have to pay for an apartment. So smart. Yeah. So clever, you know? But that's a guy, like, prepared.
Joe Rogan said Floyd built his persona around flaunting wealth, showing off expensive watches, creating envy. But now everyone can see the visible consequences of his lifestyle.
Like watching him fight because they hate him. Because he talks so much shit, and he's like, look at my $1 million watch, look at my jet, look at my house, look at this. He's like constantly showing you all these things that he has. Like, he'll lay out watches in a hotel bed, like, this is $1 million worth of watches. This watch goes for $2 million. And they're like, this is my small watch that I take sometimes, but when I'll show you, when I'll show up, I bring out the big boy, and it brings out this watch that's covered in diamonds. It's like fucking $5 million. And so you hate him. People hate him.
He creates envy.
Yes.
Nicholas Irving claims Floyd Mayweather spends nearly $1 million a day traveling constantly, visiting casinos, gambling heavily, and enjoying an extravagant lifestyle filled with nonstop luxury.
And you got gambling and all, of course, the gambling, you know, casinos and all that. He lives a very interesting lifestyle, very fast paced. I think the average person will have a hard time keeping up, but it's the amount of it. You got the private jets, you got the cars. But no, he could easily spend a few $500,000, $1 million+ in a day. Like
DJ Vlad says a major jeweler told him Floyd Mayweather might be struggling financially because of years of lavish spending on jewelry, watches, cars, and luxury items.
I agree with you 100%. I mean, $400 million in a fight, and you put into like a high escrow or something like that, yeah, you keep pulling in really good interest. But I don't know. I know the dude can spend a lot of money like it's nothing. Like $1 million, $2 million, $5 million for Floyd in a day or a week is like nothing.
Yeah, that's insanity. I mean, it would not surprise me if all of this is hyperbole. You know, I've always looked at Floyd as a very, very smart person, not just in the ring, but outside of the ring.
Yeah.
And I say this because much of what we see, it's the show. He understood. He was in show business.
Yep.
Chael Sonnen explains Floyd is a boxer and many fighters lose wealth after retirement because fame fades. Prime years pass and public attention slowly disappears.
I don't see Mayweather even doing any goofy shit.
But you would think that your investments would continue to grow.
Right.
As long as you keep your spending under wraps. Like right now, like I could retire right now. This could be my last interview ever.
Right.
And with my investments, I invested into a lot of great companies like Google and Amazon and Tesla over the years, and those companies have all grown and continue to grow, right? And I could actually borrow money against my stock portfolio without even selling my stocks.
Right.
So I assumed that Mayweather was in a similar spot because he made so much cash, and if you invested even in common stocks, you should do pretty well. But I mean, listen, Mayweather never flies commercial. He's only flying private.
So he doesn't own his own plane?
I don't think so. I've never seen a Mayweather plane, like a Drake plane. I've never seen that. Not to say that he doesn't. I don't know Mayweather like that. I've never.
WAC 100 American music executive and manager claims Floyd Mayweather Jr. struggled financially for nearly 20 years, and $20 million could be considered broke for him.
You need the money. What's wrong with that? And why are we attempting to tease Floyd? Is Floyd Mayweather? Yes, he's broke. Of course he's broke. He's a boxer. Did they say he can't read? That's not to tease him. They say that he can't read. His best friend at the time said that he can't read, and he never denied it. What boxer do you know that isn't broke? What a ridiculous question. But it's the fact that they're attempting to tease him. I mean, first off, they're asking the question. Look, I've told you until I'm blue in the face. The numbers that you hear in boxing simply aren't true. Floyd made $1 billion. No, he didn't. Floyd and Conor made $500 million. No, they didn't. Of course they didn't. Nobody's ever confirmed that. Literally nobody. It's the same thing with boxing pay-per-view. Whatever boxing pay-per-view is the biggest boxing pay-per-view of all time is just whoever put out the press release and lied more than the person before them. These have never been confirmed by leadership of a publicly traded company, who is the one that supplies the pay-per-view. It is illegal for them.
Nicholas Irving explained that the financial troubles surrounding Floyd Mayweather Jr. are often linked to the extravagant lifestyle he maintained for many years. According to Irving, Mayweather frequently spent enormous amounts of money on entertainment, travel, and luxury experiences, not just for himself, but also for his close circle of friends and associates. He described instances where Mayweather would take his entire crew on lavish shopping sprees, pay for private jet travel, and even reserve an entire movie theater for a private screening. These habits generated daily expenses that could easily reach hundreds of thousands of dollars or even exceed $1 million in some cases.
I know Floyd. I've talked to Floyd. I've asked him questions about this. And rule number one is, if Floyd ain't talking about it and Floyd ain't promoting it, then it's just talk.
They're accusing him of going broke because he's looking for these fights.
They've been accusing Floyd of going broke for 20 years. Now, let's talk about going broke. Maybe down to 200 million. Maybe that's his broke. I don't know.
Maybe that's his broke.
What I do know is his homes is still there, because when he tell me to come see him, it's the same addresses. Every time he called me, it's stars on the roof. Right? So I don't know, unless somebody is hacked into this man's finances. They always accuse the man of going broke. So maybe he's...
Irving emphasized that the deeper issue was not simply the high spending, but also the lack of significant long-term investments to secure his financial future. Instead of focusing on building stable and lasting financial projects, Mayweather devoted most of his energy to enjoying the things he loved, which gradually placed immense pressure on his overall wealth. Over time, this combination of constant luxury expenditures and minimal investment planning contributed to a precarious financial situation. Irving's analysis paints a picture of a lifestyle that, while glamorous and attention-grabbing, was ultimately unsustainable. It serves as a reminder that even the highest-earning athletes can face financial difficulties if careful planning and prudent investment are neglected in favor of immediate gratification and indulgence. Mayweather's story illustrates how lifestyle choices, even for someone at the top of their profession, can have long-term consequences on wealth and security.
If there's any legitimacy to that, like how on God's green earth could this man be broke?
His lifestyle. I've been around like hanging out for days, weeks. It's the lifestyle. Like when you got a 40-man entourage, you got other people and you take everybody out, pay for everything, shopping, the mall, going out to eat, renting out an entire movie theater. Yeah, just to go watch a movie at whatever time he wanted. It was like the theater was closed when we rolled up to the movie theater. And, you know, you got the girls and all. Yeah, and you rent out a whole movie theater for 40, 50 plus people. I bet that bill can rack up a little.
WAC 100 shared his opinion about Floyd Mayweather Jr. and the financial conversations surrounding him. WAC 100 explained that if Mayweather still has the ability to step into the ring and earn millions of dollars from a single fight, then taking that opportunity should not be criticized. According to him, many athletes return to competition when they realize the demand for their name is still strong. He believes boxing remains one of the few sports where a legendary fighter can appear in exhibitions, attract global attention, and generate huge revenue. In his view, if the chance to make millions exists, choosing to fight again is simply a practical decision.
And I say this because much of what we see, it's the show. He understood. He was in show business.
Yep.
When he was Pretty Boy Floyd, he was a boxer that was doing his thing.
Mm-hmm.
He was winning fights.
Mm-hmm.
But when he became Money Mayweather and changed that persona and put that marketing machine behind I live this lavish lifestyle, that's when you started seeing him make these big money fights.
Yeah.
That's when it all changed for him.
Yep.
And that's not by accident, it's not by chance. This guy's not dumb. He's not a guy whatsoever.
No, and I don't think, that's what I'm saying, I don't think he's broke. I think it's a lot of, to get eyes on the...
DJ Vlad discussed claims about Floyd Mayweather Jr. and his financial situation, explaining that a well-known jeweler once told him Mayweather might be facing difficulties because of extremely lavish spending over the years. Vlad suggested that large purchases of luxury items such as jewelry, watches, cars, and lifestyle expenses may have drained a significant portion of his wealth. He also mentioned that stronger long-term investments could have helped maintain and grow that fortune. Vlad added that if Mayweather Promotions had continued growing with major fighters like Gervonta Davis remaining under the banner, the company might have become one of the biggest promotional forces in boxing today.
We got $200-300 million, man, to get in the ring with, we got $150 million to get in the ring with Mike Tyson on some exhibition shit. And then 6 months later, we got $300 million for you to get in the ring with Manny Pacquiao. He look it up, he like, that's $450 million. Sometimes you miss the light. But I can guarantee you, he ain't broke. He's making a lot of sound investments. You hear me, Cam Capone?
Yep.
This I know for a fact. He's making a lot of sound investments. And the investments I've seen being made ain't the investments of someone that's broke.
Boxing analysts have expressed strong opinions regarding the upcoming exhibition between Floyd Mayweather and Mike Tyson, stressing that this fight appears to be driven more by financial incentives than genuine sporting competition. Many experts point out that Tyson, who has long passed his prime, is unlikely to perform at the extraordinary level that once made him a dominant force in boxing. Similarly, critics argue that if Mayweather had truly sought a legitimate challenge against Tyson, the ideal opportunity would have been years ago when both fighters were at the peak of their careers and at their physical best. Instead, The timing of this bout suggests that it is designed to capitalize on the fame, legacy, and star power of both athletes, aiming to draw massive attention and generate substantial revenue.
This guy told me that Mayweather is in financial problems.
See, here's the part about actually losing your money when you're on that level and you're, kind of like flossing, showing up. Nobody gives a shit. Like there are people actually praying for you to be broke. And then when you do go broke, that's what people are gonna say. Yeah. Oh, well, you should have invested better. Nobody's gonna care. Nobody's gonna give him any loans. So now, we might see Mayweather doing.
People will give him some loans.
Maybe.
Listen, he's cozying up to Israel. That's
but
not
the
an
thing
accident.
about it is, he had Mayweather Promotions.
Yeah.
And he was hosting a big, he had Javante Davis under his cars. And so that's a like,
yeah, but look what happened to Javante.
Right.
Arrested.
So if you can sustain that, you don't ever have to box again. But now has to take fights because when you floss like Mayweather, you can't go down.
Yeah.
You gotta stay right there because people are gonna peep any kind of chinks in your armor if you're not wearing 3 or 4 big $1 million diamond chains.
While Mayweather and Tyson remain among the most iconic names in boxing history, analysts caution that the match itself may offer little in terms of technical skill, strategy, or meaningful competition. The spectacle, while exciting to fans eager to see two legends share the ring, is likely to emphasize showmanship over actual boxing mastery. Observers suggest that this event will largely appeal to audiences looking for entertainment, nostalgia, and hype rather than a serious contest, highlighting the financial motivations behind the promotion. In essence, the fight represents more of a commercial spectacle than a true sporting endeavor, prioritizing money, publicity, and legacy over competitive legitimacy and athletic excellence.
Allowed this. Who looks at it now and says he's 50-0? A generation, the first generation of boxing fans who don't box. Tattoos all over. You will shoot somebody down for $1, right? You will play around and beat up a bum who's drunk out of his mind so you can put it on YouTube, right? But you won't put on the gloves. You won't go to a local gym and put on the gloves. And you have killed boxing. You have killed something that saved me from a life of being a victim. Okay? You have done it. And you have destroyed boxing in such a way, Floyd Mayweather fans and Floyd Mayweather. You have destroyed boxing in such a big...
Meanwhile, some analysts urge fans to look beyond the narrative that Mayweather is returning solely for financial reasons. They argue that boxing is more than just a business for many fighters. It is a lifelong passion and an essential part of their identity. For athletes like Mayweather, the thrill of stepping into the ring, feeling the adrenaline, and experiencing the atmosphere of a fight can be as motivating as any paycheck. These experts suggest that his comeback might be driven by a genuine love for the sport and the unique feeling it provides rather than just a desire to make money.
Floyd Mayweather would have lasted all of maybe a minute against a prime Mike Tyson. Okay? Against a prime Mike Tyson. But what Mike Tyson are we looking at today? We're looking at a very old man who has abused his body, who has bad knees, right? Who is a lot slower, okay? And after 2 rounds, he's done. He's an old man. Now, when you have a style like Mike Tyson, where everything you do, you being great, depends on speed because you're short. You understand? See, Mike Tyson could never do what George Foreman.
They believe that Floyd Mayweather's comeback should not be dismissed as purely motivated by money. They point out that boxing is more than just a profession for legendary fighters. It is a passion, a way of life, and a source of identity that remains with them even after retirement. Returning to the ring allows athletes to reconnect with the unique excitement, focus, and satisfaction that only competition can provide. For Mayweather, facing a renowned opponent like Mike Tyson may offer a chance to relive the intensity and thrill of performing at the highest level, something that cannot be replaced by financial rewards alone. While the paycheck for such exhibitions is substantial, These experts highlight that the emotional pull of the sport, the challenge and the opportunity to engage with fans and the boxing community can be equally compelling. Fans should consider the personal fulfillment and love for boxing that may be fueling this return.
Floyd Mayweather, one of the few names in boxing that still somehow matters because there are very few of them, comes out of retirement at 49 years old. We're assuming, right? Everyone's assuming he needs money, right? Nobody goes back into the game of possibly being hit and embarrassed in front of people simply because they love boxing a great deal at the age of 49.
He's probably incredibly confused why someone keeps selling his mortgages. He probably has a dozen homes and 36 different people holding his mortgages lately. That's why he's fighting.
It's the price of blow pops that has brought him back into
I'm sure all of it.
Fighting.
And he doesn't look, from where I was sitting over the last 20 years, didn't seem like he was like super fiscally responsible. This is the least surprising thing ever.
Well, you say it's the least surprising thing. Ever, but can you, Jeremy, just look up for me, okay, the amount of earnings that we're talking about here? Because while, athletic money being blown is a bit of a cliche, there are very few athletes ever who have made the kind of money that Floyd Mayweather has made. And because he's the best in the history of pay-per-view at making sure that the money ends up in his pocket. He is, or has been, a businessman as an athlete that almost doesn't have a peer because he owns all his own stuff as an independent. Your spending has to be so fiscally irresponsible to lose the amount of money that Floyd Mayweather has lost that it is almost beyond anything that is reason. It's not merely fiscal insanity. It's something that doesn't make any sense to me.
That's it for today's video. Stay tuned.